everyone, I'm Leandra. Welcome back. Today we are doing something a little bit different. I know we usually do fashion unboxings, but the Lenox Spice Village is back and I managed to snag one, so that's the unboxing we're doing today. This video is going to be fairly short and sweet. I will try, if at all possible, to keep it under 10 minutes. We're just going to be unboxing the Lenox Spice Village and doing a quick comparison because I did manage to get my hands on a couple of the original pieces just to compare the quality. Let's just do a little brief history lesson before we dive right in case you're unfamiliar with Lenox and the Spice Village. The Lenox Company was founded in 1889 by Walter Scott Lenox. It was originally intended to be a sort of artist studio where he would have a small number of artists hand painting porcelain pieces. And it just kind of took off from there. It became famous, and 100 years later the brand was still around when in 1989 they released their Spice Village. The Spice Village consisted of 24 spice jars, about 3 inches tall. Again, I believe they were supposed to be hand painted, and you could do them on a monthly subscription service, so you could get 1 jar a month for 2 years until you had the complete collection. Over time, they released other pieces in the collection, such as a tea set, some flour and sugar canisters, some napkin holders, and things like that. But the collection really only lasted until the early 90s when it was discontinued. A few years ago, I saw a TikTok video where somebody found the complete collection at a Goodwill for like $5. And, you know, I'm a kid from the 80s, so I remember when that collection came out. I saw it in magazines and stuff, and I loved it at the time, but I was just a kid. We didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't get it. Once I saw that video, I, like so many others, had a passion rekindled to find that set because it would be perfect in my home now. And I started looking online, and that set has, I don't know if it was like the viral video or if this set has always remained expensive, but it is still, even now, even a few years after that video released, that set still sells for over $1,000. I don't have that much to spend on spice jars. That's just, I know I spend money on silly things, but I don't have that much for spice jars. So I've watched and I've waited, I've scoured thrift stores, I've looked for years, I've never found anything like that amazing bargain in the Goodwill that was on the TikTok. But I did manage to find 2 pieces about 6 months ago for a very reasonable price, and so I'm going to use those today to compare with the new pieces. The pieces that I managed to find belong to a 3-piece tea set. So this was the sugar bowl with the lid and the spoon. And then this was the creamer, and then it came with the little teapot as well. I found these 2 pieces for $8 a piece at a thrift store. If you go online, they're usually $200 or more for these 2 pieces. So this actually was an amazing find, and I just really doubt I will ever find anything like this again. It was just happenstance, and I'm thankful that I found them. They're so beautiful, and I love all of the amazing detail work. I just don't think lightning is going to strike twice for me. Apparently Lenox got word that so many people were interested in this set, and I really love it when companies listen like this. They decided to re-release the entire set, just the spice jars, not the extras, in 2024. Unfortunately, I missed out on that restock. I had no idea that it was even going to happen. But in December of 2024, when I became aware of it, and of course everything was already gone, I did sign up to be notified when they restocked in the spring of 2025. A few weeks ago, I happened to check my email, and they just notified me like that day, and I think it was even in the morning, which is weird because I never check, I was at work, I never check my email at work. I definitely don't check it on my phone, hardly ever, but I just happened to, and I got the email that he restocked, so I bought it right then and there at work, like trembling with credit card in hand. Oh my gosh, I've got to get this. I will say that because they've released the entire 24-piece set, they've also released several 6-piece sets, and then at that time they released individual jars as well. The 24-piece set was $285, and they did have a limit of 1 purchase per customer. But if you buy the complete set at once, you actually save 20% off of buying them individually. So there is, I mean, in addition to the fact that you just have the complete set, there was also a little bit of a benefit to buying the complete set at once, which I thought was really, really nice of them. They didn't have to do that, but that was awesome. So I managed to get one. I believe they have sold out already, but I am positive if they have this much interest, they will keep releasing. So if you didn't get it, sign up to be notified if they restock. So it is here today. We are going to unbox it, and I'm going to do the unboxing a little bit different because I really want you to be able to see, and I don't want this to take 3 hours for me to open all these pieces, so we're just going to switch the position of the camera here and do the unboxing. I sort of wondered if, because this was like a restock, if it was maybe a pre-order or something and it was going to take forever to ship, or if my order was going to get canceled because they oversold, you know, all the things that run through your mind when you've been waiting for something forever and you're just about to get it. You're like, what could go wrong? But it did ship within a week, and I think actually it shipped within just a few days of me ordering, and it arrived within a week. So this was a very quick turnaround time. All right, let's do the unboxing. Just in case you missed it in the video, I love the box. It is all of the Spice Villages on the cover. It's really, really pretty. And I'm sure you saw this in the unboxing part, but I'm keeping all of this adorable paper. How cute is that they put the pictures on the paper too? This is really, I love it when companies appreciate the fact that they are, like, this is an expensive item and they go the extra mile, just put the little details in to make it even more special. That is really, really awesome. So let me just pick up one piece, and I think I'm going to move the camera again, actually, just to do the comparison side by side, and then maybe do some close-ups so you can see the quality. So putting these two new pieces next to the original, the sugar bowl, and then these are new. Honestly, I don't see a lot of difference between the two. If I look at this piece, which is original, you can see the way the light reflects the texture on the roof. You can see that there's a lot of detail in the paint job. It's not a flat paint job. There's some depth to it. And then when I look at these two pieces, again, like, this is a textured roof. It's textured into the porcelain. There's some depth to the paint jobs. They've tried to put some shadowing underneath here. It's all very delicate, very clean work. I do love this little feature, which is that they put the name that it goes with so that you can never mix up your lids, unless of course you want to. But I think this is well painted. I think it's very thoughtful. And honestly, I'm not a seasoned collector, so I'm not an expert, but I do not see a difference in the quality between the original and the re-release. I think they are both high quality, beautiful pieces, very detail oriented, very thoughtful. And I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm really, really trying to keep this video under 10 minutes. I don't think I'm gonna make it, but I am trying. Final thoughts on the Spice Village. This is a frivolous purchase, which is kind of what we do here. I don't really purchase necessities, at least not on the channel. This is a lot of money. And whenever it's like opened and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the price, I'm like, oh my goodness, I just spent $285 on a bunch of tiny jars. Wow. But having said that, they are really, really beautiful. And I think they are going to be a wonderful display piece in my home. I have been working on my home a lot for the last 2 years, trying to make it into my dream home. And this is just a piece that I want to be a part of it. You know, some of the things in my home, if you kind of look around, like these are very inexpensive vintage pieces. I pick them up for $10, $20, $5, you know, just here and there. This is very expensive, but to me, it was worth it because this is something I have wanted actually since I was a little girl. And then as an adult for years, I've known how much it cost and was willing to pay the right price for it. So $1,000 on eBay was not the right price, but $300 for a brand new set that's a complete set, I am willing to pay. I will have to think about where I'm going to display it. Lenox has talked about releasing their own spice rack. They did originally have a spice rack that went with it, but even now that rack is going to cost $300 if you can find one vintage. So they've talked about releasing their own. They haven't yet. And then I will leave a link for a blogger actually who has made her own spice rack to fit the village. And I think she did a fantastic job, and I'm considering making my own based on her instructions. So I'm going to leave that link as well. So no regrets on purchasing. It is expensive, but this will be a display piece in my home. And it's something, I didn't just make it as an impulse purchase. This is something I've wanted for a really long time. So you have to make that decision for yourself if it's something you want. I think it's beautiful and I think it's worth it. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I am so excited that I was able to share this with you. I hope that you will join me for the next one, but I have no idea what that will be or when it will be. So I will leave the link for my blog and my Instagram in the description. You can follow me on both of those platforms, just in the meantime before I release my next video, and I'll see you in the next one.